Hello AstonMTBers, just in to test these new Pendulum pedals. Super excited about these. Going to give you a quick video why I think they're going to be awesome, how they're made, construction techniques, and a few reasons why they might not be so awesome. Let's get into it. So these launched a few months ago, brand new company, brand new design from Canada, Outlier MTB. Technically not a completely new design because Shimano, I believe, used to make some pedals like these about 40 years ago. Single-sided pendulum design with a toe strap, so you can tell how long ago that was. These modern flat pedal designed for downhill enduro bike park aggressive riding. Extremely simple design. They're made from 70-75 aluminium. Really nice shape, all tapered for maximum ground clearance. I don't think they have any more clearance than any normal flat pedal, especially because you don't have pins sticking out here, which reduce your ground clearance and make it more likely to catch on rocks or the ground. And on the inside, where they're much thicker for strength. They're also an asymmetric design, which is good because this trailing edge of the pedal, which is more likely to hit the ground, you've got a bit more clearance, keeping it away from the floor. But on the front edge of the pedal, where most people ride with a slightly duck-footed position, you've got a bit more surface area to plant your foot on the pedal. No axle in the middle, so super simple. It's basically three pieces. The pedal body, there's two bearings in there with a little spacer in between. These bearings are huge compared to any traditional pedal bearings that are normally super thin and wear out pretty fast. These should last for years longer than the average bearing, depending on how much effect the moment force has on them. But they look to me like they're going to last for ages. You simply put the tiny axle through the pedal. Super flush, nice design, not much space for dirt to get in. And then you put this little washer spacer on the back. Again, super flush, nice design. That's going to keep dirt out, and it's just going to space it away from the crank arm so the pedal won't foul the crank arm when it's turning. Fit them like normal, 8mm Allen key from the back of your crank, tighten them up. Recommended 35 Newton meters. The pins, I don't know if you can see on this video, but the pins are a great design. 3mm hex key from the back of the pedal. And the pins actually have two different threads. So the bigger diameter thread screws the pin into the pedal, and you can see they're also all Loctited with red Loctite, so they should never come out. The smaller diameter thread on the front is good because if you damage a pin, very unlikely because you normally damage pins that are on the bottom of the pedal. But if you do manage to damage one, when you unthread it out, it should unthread nicely without damaging the threads in the pedal. Secondly, having a threaded pin instead of a smooth pin, this is increasing the surface area on the pin. So when it sticks into your shoe, it's going to grip more. And also the threads act like little teeth that are going to grip the rubber of the shoe. Also for more grip, there's this big gaping hole in the middle of the pedal. So when you put your foot on the pedal, your foot's actually going to squash like in the middle of the pedal. This is going to help your shoe grip and transform, mold to the shape of the pedal. Again, increasing grip. Now to the main design point of the pedal, single-sided design. The average pedal, you are about 6-8mm on top of the axle. So your foot's rocking on top of the axle. And you have to ride with the heels down, stamped, so that when you're hitting bumps, your foot doesn't bounce or slide off the front of the pedal. With these, you're rocking underneath the pedal, which should mean you don't need such a heels down position. And I think it should also make it a lot more stable. You're not fighting on top of the pedal, you're underneath, nice and stable, like a gondola underneath gondola cable. Possible downsides, there's a few that I can think of. The main one is you take your foot off in a rough section or for a corner, and then you put your foot back on here. That's going to be a terrible situation, but you should just be able to take your foot off. It'll rewrite itself and put your foot back on in the right position. Next one, you could take your foot off and put it back on top of the axle, which again isn't going to be very nice, but you should be able to slide your foot across back into the normal position. The least likely problem I can see is, imagine my foot is a rock and you ride along and you manage to catch this part of the pedal. It's actually quite a sort of vertical 90-degree edge there. You could catch on a rock there, maybe knock your foot off or send you forward. I don't want to criticize anything on the design without riding them, but maybe this edge could be chamfered off a bit more at an angle like this, like the leading edge. So if you do hit it, it'll slide off nice and easily. The only other downside that could happen to 1% of people out there is you need to drop your seat post about 12mm to give you the same saddle, the pedal height for your correct pedaling position. If you're someone who's got their seat post already dropped right down in the frame, in the seat tube, you can't drop it anymore, that could cause you a problem because you won't be able to get the correct pedaling position, but that's unlikely. So that's it for this video. Really excited to try them out. If they pass the test, I'll do a giveaway for some soon. While you're waiting for the review, you can enter my ultimate £10,000 bike competition and support my independent reviews. This competition gives you the chance to win any bike of your dreams worth up to £10,000. You can get something custom with my advice and my help to build a dream machine, get something off the shelf, any brand, anything in the world, up to £10,000. So look out for the review, get some tickets, and good luck. See you soon.